Okay, babes, so many things. My mic is right here because I don't know, broke. Okay, and I do have another mic, but I'm not really great with the settings, so the audio peaks a lot and I fucking hate it. Anyway, also, cheers. This is my coffee because it's Tuesday and I thought I had class today, but I guess our professor emailed us yesterday that class was canceled and I found out 5 minutes ago, but it is the best fucking news ever, okay? Hello YouTube world, it's Mara and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time watching me. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate having you guys here. Anyway, this video I feel like I'm really talking to myself, but if you want to like eavesdrop on my conversation with myself, then by all means stick around and watch. But I don't even know what I'm gonna title this video yet. I've been going through something kind of difficult and I wouldn't necessarily call it a poem. I don't really consider myself a poet. I just journal my feelings, like that's literally it. So I'll just read it. It's easier than trying to like explain what I was gonna say, you know? And we'll put some like pretty B-roll footage over it. But here goes nothing. Grief. I've never lost someone incredibly close to me, but I know grief well. She's a dear friend of mine, always comes around unexpectedly. With a gentle nudge and pulling my hand, she reminds me it's time to let this go. Past version of myself, friendships, relationships, memories that I would want to relive forever. The harder I cling, the more forceful is her hand, making my heart feel like it's being torn in two. So, I let go, and with so much pain in my heart, I mourn the loss and slowly try to rebuild. And again I wait for grief to come visit. And that's the entire video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just kidding. I had to lighten the mood because obviously that's pretty dark. Or not dark, it's just intense. And I feel like that also perfectly sums up my 20s. Like, I'm only 26, so I still have another 4 years to go. Fuck. Just kidding. But it's like, I feel like as soon as I start to get comfortable with something, or I start to really love every inch of my space, or friendships, or relationships, or even the version of myself that I am, it so abruptly usually gets changed. It leaves, I leave, I grow as a person. And it's funny because I think there's certain situations where you're, at least for myself, I'm almost running from where I am and I'm like begging for change because I want to be out of that situation so much. And then there's other times where I don't want to leave it, and those ones are the most painful ones to let go of because you love it so much, you love everything about it, but life kind of, grief, or I guess whatever you want to call it, forces you down that path to let it go. Sorry, also my bangs are fucking weird because I'm growing them out and they're just in a very awkward stage. So sometimes they look good and sometimes they look terrible. We're just gonna go with it. I have come to realize that change is really the only constant in my life, and to try and appreciate every moment that I have before it's gone. And that's way easier said than done sometimes. And the moments that I'm kind of forced to leave, or moments that I wasn't ready to leave, I feel like I'm also just a very reflective person that I want to see what I can learn out of the situation, see where I could grow, see where I went wrong, see the lessons I could take from it. Yeah. I think the worst part is like standing in a moment and feel it fleeting, like feel it leaving and knowing how much you're gonna miss it as you're still living it. But I think that's why it's like, again, I'm so annoying because I'm a Libra, so I'm always just like, but that's the beauty in like the moment, and that it doesn't last forever, and like you gotta appreciate it while you can't, blah blah. I know. Sometimes even I feel so annoyed with myself of like, shut up. Just shut up. You don't always have to find the beauty in everything. But as a Libra, I do. I literally cannot stop myself. I think immediately when I think about grief, I think about mourning, I think about sadness, I think about feeling my feelings, I think about allowing the entire pain of whatever it is that I'm letting go swell my entire body and my entire existence and just feel every ounce of it. And I know this is the annoying Libra in me that's like, look on the bright side, but I also feel like there's something so beautiful about that new beginning of fully closing that chapter. And I feel like that's where I've learned to appreciate grief, because it signals this end, this is really over, like fully closing that chapter of my life, because I felt the feelings, I learned the lessons I needed to learn, and now it's my job to apply them. And it has helped me not necessarily fully welcome grief into my life every time something is falling apart, but I think it almost feels like a familiar process, you know? When you feel something leaving your life, it's like, oh, I've been here before. I know what to do. Yeah, it fucking sucks and the pain hurts so bad, but you're like, I know I'll get through this. As opposed to like when you were younger and literally everything changing all at once, and you did not think, at least for myself, I did not think I would ever be able to survive the changes that were happening in my life. And now at like 26, I'm just like, these feelings feel very familiar. And I'm glad I've learned much better coping mechanisms. And I know that this is for my better. And I know that I'll survive this. And I know that I will get through this. After I feel like I've felt all of those feelings, and after I feel like I have processed a lot of the hurt, I feel like there's something exciting about a new beginning, about starting fresh, about the openness after a lot of loss, of just like, here goes. We'll see where life takes me. We'll see the new things that will enter my life after I've let go of so much. And I think there's something so beautiful about that and exciting. And I don't really like to like categorize emotions, because I think emotions just are, but for the sake of this, I think it feels like a nice ebb and flow of how I felt a lot of dark, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, and now the light feels like it's coming again. Like there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's excitement. There's happiness. I feel like I can create again. I feel excited for what's to come. And like another thing that I wanted to touch on, which I'm not really even too sure about my feelings on it yet, but I just wanted to see what comes to the surface. And then we'll see if I include it in the video. But I want to talk about female rage, because I feel like I have only seen like 2 videos where I heard like other women talking about like female rage, and just, I don't know, one was like a practice of like how to experience or let out your female rage, but through a lot of processing my own emotions and going to therapy and being in school to be a therapist, I've realized that 99% of the time, anger is a secondary emotion for myself and for like a couple people around me. 99% of the time, it is my pain manifested into anger. It is my pain that I don't want to feel. So I just want to be angry. I want to destroy. I want to seek revenge. Not that I ever do, but I like, those are just like, you know how when you're going through like a breakup or something and like you just got dumped, and like the female rage you feel inside of you of just like wanting to go destroy his car or something like that. I've never done that, okay? I never will. But there obviously are women that have done that, and I understand why, because it's just the way that they are able to express their hurt. And at least for like a lot of men, I think anger is usually their initial feeling to feeling pain, because societally they've told that that's one of the few emotions that they are allowed to feel, anger. And for women, I think it's just almost on the similar boat of just like you're seeing how like happiness and anger and maybe a little bit of sadness are acceptable emotions to have. They're all right emotions to have, but don't let it get out of control because then you're too crazy, you're too much, or whatever. And I don't know, I guess where I'm going with this is like telling myself that it's okay to feel all of those emotions. It's okay to feel angry and then to dismantle it and realize I'm just hurt and process my pain. It's okay to feel incredibly hurt over something and process that. It's okay to feel my feelings. And I think it's also okay, or at least at least as I'm telling myself this, I think it's also okay to do what I need to do to make myself feel safe in my body, in my emotions, in my pain. I feel like most of us, whenever we experience some sort of hurt or trauma, you kind of have your own process of like, holy shit, I don't feel safe. Everything hurts. I'm panicking right now. Let me go into whatever process or order of systems you have to try and self-regulate. By self-regulate, I mean emotionally regulate. I don't think those two words are interchangeable. But yeah, everyone has their own process of how they emotionally self-regulate after experiencing such intense pain. And I feel like for myself, that's usually to just recluse and to feel my feelings. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to chat to anyone about it. I just want to feel my feelings for like a couple days. And then, depending on what the situation is, like deal with the repercussions of that. Don't mind the hair, I know she's a little bit crazy, but I feel like I was talking in circles and didn't even really explain what I was saying. What I meant was that oftentimes I would prioritize other people, their needs, their wants, their desires over my own system to emotionally regulate. And the older I get, the more I'm like, fuck that. I am no good when I'm not emotionally regulated. And I need to prioritize myself and my emotions. And especially if I'm capable of handling, which I am at this age, my big ass age, I am capable of handling the fallout of what I need to do to emotionally regulate, which is usually for me just being a recluse. And is that a word? Recluse? I think so. For a few days and then getting back to people a few days later and just being like, hey, sorry, I was really going through something. I'm much better now. XYZ, you know? And that's okay. Having that process for me and prioritizing my needs is okay. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, there's no way when I am in like my deep throes of pain that I am like even remotely capable of socializing or carrying on a conversation or thinking about other people, and not in a mean way, but it's just my brain is somewhere else. I don't know why the only thing that I can think of to say right now is growing up is fucking weird, and it reminds me of this song by, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but Ruel. I think that's how you say it, or Rel. Girl, I don't fucking know. Anyway, and it's literally called that. Growing up is weird, and his was more about like love and like experiences that you have as you're growing up, and like you like your friends and you sleep with them and like all of your emotions get twisted. And honestly, I feel like for me, love has been the least of my fucking problems growing up. I feel like I've had nothing but like entangled family dynamics, to be honest. But I've learned so much about myself throughout this entire process that I wouldn't change it for anything. And the more I realize, like, we're all a little fucked up. Even the people who say, like, they had a great family life and, like, both their parents were involved in their lives. Like, we're all still a little fucked up. I don't know, maybe that's also me just trying to make myself feel better about my fucked upness, you know? It's very hard. Why am I like slumping in my chair? Sorry about the horrible posture. Also, I went to San Francisco on Easter Sunday and I got kind of burnt, but I'm loving how it's developing as a tan. Like my shoulders look all nice and bronze. Anyway, we weren't talking about that. Okay. I feel like the only place that I feel safe, I guess is the word, to talk highly about myself is in therapy. And I kind of want to change that because it's not like I'm stating I'm as magnificent as the queen, you know? I'm just stating like simple shit that I'm actually proud of. And there's something that I said today, because I had therapy today. I said something along the lines that I'm proud of the way that I conduct myself in spite of a lot of the grief that I've had to face in my life. And again, when I say grief, I don't necessarily mean I've lost like several loved ones. I just mean grieving situations, family dynamics, relationships, old versions of myself. And what I also meant by that was I feel like I do not allow those situations to change my heart and change how open I am to giving people my kindness and my time and my energy. I would understand and it would be justifiable if I decided to close off my heart and to close off being kind to people and become more of a closed off person, understandably so. But I don't want to live that way. I don't like living that way. I don't want the new people that enter my life to not have a chance to meet that version of myself because she's pretty fucking great. I love her and I don't want to not share her with others. I guess I could end this off by speaking still a little more highly about myself, of just how proud I am of my growth, how proud I am of the person I'm becoming, how proud I feel with my ability to carry such heavy emotions and process them and work through them, because there was a time when I literally thought the world was ending because I didn't want to feel these emotions. And there's so much beauty in being able to feel so deeply. And I think Maddie Drossbeck, since obviously you guys know I'm in love with Maddie Drossbeck, but I think she says something along the lines of like, nobody will ever be able to convince her that her sensitivity isn't a gift. And I think at times I find it hard to carry that notion, but overall I do as well. Sensitivity and my love and my kindness and my ability to feel so deeply is such a gift, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it for a single thing. But that being said, let me put the fucking mic down so I could close out the video. Bear with me. Hopefully the audio is not terrible this video. But peace and blessings, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! I kissed a little early, but you know what? Whatever. Forehead kisses for everyone.